Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much indeed for joining me here on another quick video. And the purpose of today's video is to introduce you to my landed country estate, which you can see right here in the background. I'm just teasing. That house has nothing to do with me. It's a National Trust building, and we're just fortunate enough to walk through the grounds here today on a lovely walk. But I did want to use the backdrop here as a useful example of living a life in accordance with our values, and why I believe that's actually really quite important. And to me, ladies and gents, when I've coached and worked with a number of different people over the years, the biggest pain factors I see with people hitting roadblocks, stumbling blocks, either in business or in life, and certainly I've experienced this very deeply on a personal level, is when they're living a life that's absolutely against their values or not in accordance with their values. And for me, it happened. I was doing a lot of work for a company where I was a professional speaker, traveling the country up and down, and got quite a buzz out of doing the speaking part. But there were certain aspects to the role that I felt a real inner conflict with, really conflicted with my heart and my gut for some reason. And it was only when I stepped away from the role and I took sort of inventory of what was actually going on for me that I realized that this wasn't the role for me to carry on pursuing. And don't get me wrong, it was a very well paid position. I got a lot out of it, as I say, from massaging the ego, being on stage and all that sort of great stuff, and a round of applause at the end of a weekend, fantastic. But in my heart, it wasn't who I was. And so I was fortunate enough to step away from that position, and over the course of the last 2 years I've tried to craft a life that is more authentically true to who I am as a person. And I just want to say a word about finding out your values, because if you go on the internet and you type in finding your values or something of that nature into a search engine, it's highly likely that you're going to come across a lot of watered down exercises and a lot of watered down, to my mind, examples of this. And to be honest with you, of all the coaches and mentors I've worked with over the course of the last 10 years, myself personally, there's only one that I found that actually was able to give me a real insight into who I was as a person. And that work probably took the best part of 4 or 5 days, and that's 4 or 5 sort of 8 to 10 hour days working on what the values actually are of who I am at the core. But once you've got that information, you look at it on the paper and you go, yeah, that's me. That's absolutely me. So if you're struggling with finding out your values, guys, I'm going to encourage you not to, just print up a bunch of words on the internet, which is what I did once. And there's about 300 different words that I identified with and thought, yes, that describes me perfectly. But actually, the reality was, when I got down to it, I can summarize my values really in 5 simple sentences. And if you're struggling to get into that, as that exercise, and to really do it and to establish who you are, please let me know. I'll be happy to point you in the direction of a resource who may be able to help you. And I just think it's the most profoundly useful exercise I've done over the course of the last 2 years to really understand who I am at the core, and not only that, to help you build a life around those values and to take business ventures forward. Because ultimately, when you know who you are at the core with your business values, you're going to attract clients and suppliers and business partners who are all in accordance with those values. And it's kind of going to happen via osmosis, more so than anything else. They'll naturally be attracted into your life to work with you because of the values that you hold. And I think that's a great place if you're struggling in business or in life, and you're struggling to make decisions about what to do. Just refer back to those values, and it makes your decision-making process so much easier. In fact, all of the books that I've read recently, pointing out all of the top businesses in the entire world over hundreds of years, have always come back to their values. And when their values are solid and their values remain unchanged, which they should do, because it's who you are, you can't really change essentially who you are at the core, then you will find that the business decisions become so much easier, and the business thrives automatically because of that exercise. So it really is the one thing I will encourage everybody to do, is to know who you are at the core, work out your core values, what's true for you, and then craft your life around that. Because the biggest problem I see with a lot of people, as I say, guys, is just not living their life in accordance with those values, and that may cause a huge conflict. That may cause you to give up a career that you've pursued for 10 years. It may cause you to walk away from a relationship that you're not happy with, or relationships, and that can be quite heart-wrenching to go through. But trust me, on the other side, it is so much more, such a more peaceful existence, and life becomes just so much easier. It's hard to articulate unless you've actually been through it yourself, and so I'm really going to encourage you to crack on with that as an exercise. And as I say, if you're struggling, guys, let me know. Happy to point you in the direction of some resources, and yeah, I hope that's been of some super value for you. So value on values, there we are. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. We're going to carry on doing a bit of walking, and look forward to seeing you on another video very soon. Take care, guys. Thanks.